Monthly, and we've just been reached here to the Occupy Astoria home camp and a great march that just transpired. How was the march, Oscar?
It was great. We walked from here all the way down to 6th and Marine and back. We had great response from the public driving by. A lot of people seemed to be right in line with what we were trying to do. Our main goal is to raise awareness of the issues that we feel are important to the future. You know, we want to have a future and a lifestyle for our kids in a monetary system and a government that supports them, that the hard work and the American dream that we've been fighting for is still there. May not happen for us. I mean, with the things that are going on and how deeply entrenched some of these philosophies and the monetary systems are, that it's going to be a long time to dismantle this. But we're after a better America. A lot of people think that this is about tearing down America, making something worse than it is. We see a better future, a brighter future, that everybody can have the benefits of their hard work. And equal rights does not mean equal things. So, you know, it was great. It was a really good day.
That's excellent. What do you think about the Occupy movement? Do you think that we're going to see a continued effort here, not just in the big urban cities, but throughout the United States?
And the smaller occupies, I think, are almost more important than the bigger ones, because it shows that it's mainstream America, that it's not a large population of people that could be, you know, have a small population of radicals. We're a small population here, and we had a fairly decent showing. And these smaller movements are really going to be the backbone. The bigger ones are kind of getting attention out there, but it's the smaller ones and the ground level changes that are really going to make the movement.
This is Dinah Urell for Hip Fish Monthly. We're here with one of the folks participating in Occupy Astoria. We've just finished the walk. Sir, what is your name?
I'm Mark Covell.
Mark, why are you here today?
I'm here for several reasons. But I think the Occupy movement is one of the greatest possibilities that we have in our country for a better future right now. And we should get together all around the country and make a statement for a more sustainable and fulfilling country. We can do it if we come together. We have to find the will and the voice to go forward and stand up for the values that our country used to stand up for. One way we can do that is to limit the corporate control in this country. We need a different kind of governance, an earth-centered governance that doesn't give the corporations rights over individuals, so that communities can have a right to stand up against development that they're against, that damages their ecosystem and their communities. There are many things that we can do, but Occupy right now seems to be one of the best ways to stand up and get together with our communities and make a statement. Something else I'd like to add. You know, I thought about not coming today. It's a terribly rainy day and we're just here for one day. What can we do in an Occupy movement in a small town? But I think we're just beginning. We're just learning what an occupation is. We're taking our ideas from the New York Stock Exchange and from the London Stock Exchange occupations, from occupations all over the world. But especially right now today, I'd like to honor the 300 indigenous people from South America who have occupied the Belamonte Dam site, the construction site, and have vowed not to leave at any cost until the dam is not constructed. They understand what an occupation is. And I think it's time for us as Americans to understand the commitment that we have to make when we occupy America. And that's what we're doing now. We're learning how to do that, step by step.
This is Dinah for Hip Fish Monthly, and I'm here with Dave Lillis, one of the Occupy organizers and participants. Just had a great march through downtown Astoria today. So Dave, can you tell us a little bit about how the planning got together for Occupy Astoria?
Yeah, it was it's pretty organic. There was I heard about a meeting that was happening, and the first meeting had probably maybe 30 people show up, and then We all talked about what we wanted to see and do and why we were all wanting to get involved, and we decided that we wanted to have a nonviolent, peaceful protest or vigil in support of the occupation of Wall Street. And we started off just wanting to do a small march, and after we all got together, we got this parking lot and got all the equipment together and got a bunch of infrastructure set up, and yeah, it just turned out really good. We got a whole bunch of people out here, and they're all making their own signs, and they all got their own thing to say, and I think that's the strength of the whole thing, is we're all in it together and trying to make things better for everybody else.
That's great. So what are your plans for this event tonight?
Tonight we're going to get a projector down here and show some documentaries throughout the night to keep people, up and entertained and, educate a little bit. We're also going to have, we got a PA set up, people can speak and, say why they're here. More side of the road, sign hold, protest and goodness, and hang out and have a good time.
And it's going to be an all-nighter.
All-nighter, yeah. We're going to stay here all night, and we'll be here till noon tomorrow. And we're going to do a really good site cleanup and try to leave it better than how we found it. See if we can send that message to the corporations.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you.
Dinah Urell here with Hip Fish Monthly, and we are talking with yet another fine Occupy Astoria participant. What's your name?
Angela.
Angela? Mm-hmm. And so what have you been doing for Occupy Astoria, Angela?
Well, I had a little side thing I started that's called Vision Alliance. And so when I went to the meeting, I think it was the second meeting, and started asking some questions about, Facebook and Twitter, and if we had a website and some of the media stuff. And they kind of nominated me. I wasn't expecting necessarily to get involved in the way that I did, but I was really excited and I guess honored or whatever to be involved in the way that I ended up being involved. And I, not for myself, but for the movement, for the people, decided to make flyers, and I made a blogspot, Occupy Astoria Oregon.blogspot.com, and then kind of started, spreading the love with the social media, and it was really amazing and got great feedback, and we have a lot of people that care, so it was neat to be able to provide that source. It's only going to be maybe a 24-hour vigil, but we didn't know going into it that maybe we continue this, so we have some media in place and a great blog that is beautiful. And we aligned together and formed that alliance and made this great thing happen in a pretty short period of time. It's kind of exciting to be a part of.
Hi, this is Dinah with Hip Fish Monthly, and we're here at the Occupy Astoria Ground Zero.
Exactly.
And here with Jessamine Grace, one of the Astoria Occupy participants. And Jessamine, what is your role here in the Astoria Occupy?
Well, specifically, I'm on the safety committee, so I'm the certified first aid person here. We have a first aid person here at any time. So my shift here is, I believe I'll be here till about 4 o'clock in the morning. So if anybody gets hurt, they can come to me.
So how was the march?
I thought the march was fantastic. We had a wonderful turnout, a good range of people. I think one of the things that's so impressive to me about this movement is that it's a General Assembly movement. So it's an open participatory movement as far as the General Occupy movement goes. So what that means is that people from all walks of life contribute, and it's a horizontal structure rather than a hierarchical structure. So what's impressive about that to me is that, everybody comes here for different reasons. There's people here that don't have access to housing. There's people here that don't have access, to food. There's people that don't have access to health care. So that whole General Assembly aspect of this movement is extremely important, because it allows people to come for their own reasons. And that it doesn't make any person's reason for being here any more or less important than another person's. So that, I mean, I think that's an excellent way of doing it. Very effective. You don't exclude anybody. You don't exclude anybody's voice in this whole thing. There's a lot of people that are asking, you know, well, why is everybody here? Well, we're all here for different reasons. Doesn't that lead to it being unorganized? No. I mean, the General Assembly is the true form of democracy, in my opinion. So that's anything but unorganized.
So was it a good organizing team?
It was a great organizing team. Yeah, I mean, I was really inspired by the number of people. I mean, meetings, huge meetings of people that took their own time to come and contribute and come out in the wonderful Astoria weather that we had today. I learned a lot about a lot of different people here and their stories and their reasons for being here, which was tremendously inspiring. You know, it's going back to the General Assembly argument. It just, you know, if my reason for being here being different from somebody else's, that means that there's a lot to share as far as stories going around and learning about one another and why we're here and making up that 99% of the population. So, yeah. And I think, I think the less, you know, when, I think we'll see more of this, because I think that not just in the US obviously, but all over the world, not to lump us all together, but certainly there's a shared human aspect, you know, that I was talking with Ron about, where you've got that that power dynamic basically, where, you know, you've got that 1% or whatever the percentage is where you're at, that percentage of people that are in power that are going to do everything they can to maintain that power, and then you have the rest of the 99% of people who are doing with less, you know, and by less I don't mean, you know, we're a very privileged country in a lot of ways, but we do have poverty, we do have hunger, we do have restricted access to education, and when you see people who have less to lose, that's when you see the necessity for resistance. So when you see these kind of revolutions taking place, and to me that's why I'm here. It's important. And even if you have a lot, you can still recognize that it's absurd that we have homelessness in a country where 11.4% of homes are empty. So even if you have a lot, it still can be your fight too, if you recognize that it's unfair the way that the system is set up right now.